We're live. Thank heaven for that. Right, let's get this a little better orientated. How's that? A little more. Yay! Hi, Sean. Right, that should be a little better. Now, can I sit here and you can see me? No, this is a little more difficult. That's all right. I'll make myself as comfortable as I can. Oh, yeah, that was a struggle. I was using an old laptop, Sean, and it's got a better camera. And I tried it yesterday, and I thought, oh, this is great. It's like a 720p camera, and oh, it was brilliant. And I thought, oh, great. But I never tried it on YouTube, like the idiot I am. Whee, 440. Woohoo. Can't remember. Who is that? Right. Oh, I can't see. Even with my glasses on, I can't see that one. Just told the last lot you changed. Yeah. Yeah. I had to abandon ship on that one, I'm afraid. Hello, Mark. Hi, Al. Ugh. Yeah, so that was a bit of a mad 5 minutes to grab the laptop from the house, run back up here. Hello, Chris. Hi, Darren. Uh, got back up here. Um, Unfortunately, I've got to just cope with this piss poor camera that this little laptop's got. See, I never envisaged that I was going to be doing live streams, but there you go. Now, if I can, let me take the old laptop out from underneath this one, and that might just take you down a little lower. Whoa. There we go. That should be a little better. Yeah, the old laptop's it's an old Hewlett Packard, and it's got a great camera on it and a really good mic, but the processor on it by now is so slow, and it's running Windows 8. And I thought, oh, for heaven's sake! But if you just run the camera and you're just looking at yourself and you think, oh, the motion's great because it's running probably 30 frames a second or more, and all of the light balance is good, the sound's great on the mic, but hey ho, you know. What I might be able to do is push it back a little further. That's as far as I can get. Now if I just ease that up a little bit, and if I plonk myself down here, oh, I can see you, yay. Now I need a pair of binoculars to see the chat, so I'm gonna have to come a little closer. Phew. Yeah. Right. The only real news I've got is that Bachmann and EFE are going to bring out the new pacer. Well, apparently, Rouse of Sheffield have said they're imminent. So next week or something like that, they'll be in the shops. I think we've ordered ours from Kerno Model Railways, and they haven't given any idea of when they're due in. But if Rouse of Sheffield are getting them, then chances are Kerno being a big box shifter as well will get them as well. Squealy buses. Hello, Lee. Just need an update on the laptop. Oh, don't go there. No, I updated everything yesterday, and that's maybe when the trouble started. But from I think earlier, the first couple of days in this month, uh, Windows 8 is no longer supported. So that's not going to get any updates. Right. On the upline is Alco 260, and on t'other line, right behind it, is a way old Richmond 440. They're both DCC with sound. So at the flick of a switch, I can entertain you with a bit of woo woo and that, but I'm not sure you'd be able to hear me at the same time because it was pretty loud in here when I had them both going. Timed it perfectly. Just got back from a kids' party. Oh no, no. So it was all jelly and party games and blind man's buff and all that kind of jazz. I was a caretaker in a school, so yeah, it was one long pantomime for me in a funny way because the kids are just golden. They whatever's in their head just comes out, and half of it is really funny. I mean, you couldn't. Yeah, but now that's all over and done with. Retirement. Yes, wouldn't mind a Valley Lines one if I was still. Yes, yes, Valley Lines. Right. Well, I know they're doing 4 or 5 liveries, Ben. The one we've obviously gone for is Great Western Railway, because we've got a lot of the 158s and we've got a HST. Didn't get the 800 because I don't know. It was a bit pants. Retirement, Andy. Yes, I am. I'm 59, mate. And like I said in the week, when you work for 40 years, um, you don't see it coming. But in the last couple of years, you think, am I really going to be able to do this any longer? And then when it gets right to it, you think to yourself, screw this, and you start taking loads of bullshit. Um, the thing is, when been doing your job and doing it well for some time, you become invisible because nobody's picking on you and you just tick over and get everything you need done. Um, but so you then become invisible, and then after there's a couple of years elapses, and after that you become ignored, as if your opinion is no longer valid, to the point where you're actually ignored out of a conversation, particularly as it's something that you put on the wall and they're talking about things that you've done and they're not even giving you an ear. And I thought, am I really that invisible? And I thought, yeah, part of the furniture, exactly. And I couldn't accept that. And the way things were going, the school was getting bigger and bigger, and I was getting nothing but older. And I thought, if I'm finding it tough now with an extra half of school, it's going to be impossible. Plus, the way it was told to me was that there was going to be 2 caretakers, and I'd be chief all, and I'd have a slave. And then I heard, was it late last year? Oh no, it'll be just you. Do you fancy some more hours? Yeah, right. I don't think so. So yeah, that's it was retirement. So work's a thing of the past now. Unless I get really strapped for cash, and then I don't know, I could always do a bit of hand driving or something, or something menial, something where you don't have any responsibility. Because being a caretaker, there's a lot of responsibility and not a lot of cash. I mean, you're not going to be up there with Howard Hughes, I'm afraid. Uh, in all of the years since I left BT, my wages never caught up with what I was earning then, ever. And I could have worked there another 7 or 8 years, and it still wouldn't have. So I was pretty well paid as an engineer, and thankfully I got a bloody good pension out of them. So which has allowed me to say bye. Hang on, I'll have to get closer to that one. Yeah, sorry about the rank, guys, but it doesn't take much to light the fuse. Yeah, they probably got somebody else in, but I don't care. They'll be in the same situation I was eventually. So good luck to them. And it's a great little school, but it's just not so little anymore. It's getting bigger and bigger. The demands on it are getting more and more because everybody wants to go there. And, you know, the caretaker's starting to creak. Smallwood Junction, hi, mate. And Stuart's in. Hello. Hi, Stuart. How are you? Yeah, I did catch up with your last video. Um, but usually you start watching something and then you get a little message which says, bang, somebody's gone live. And you think, oh, right, abandoned ship. And I'm afraid that's what happens to it. So I did watch it later. And yeah, very nice. Hi, Anthony. Nice to see you, mate. Let me see if I can get my seat a little closer. Then I can get a little lower down. That's better. Right. Here comes the Alco 260. Yay. Stems from the false economy of closing a smaller satellite school and sending all the kids to one bigger one that isn't actually good. Well, it was a village school, and it's the only school in it. And if they wanted to send any further, it would be over to sort of Stevenage or Hitchin or somewhere like that, or down to Welling or one of the other country schools. But the village is getting bigger. They're starting to build houses and on quite a large scale. There was a, what would you call it, like a gardening centre which they bought up and leveled. And the idea is they're going to build a load of houses on it. And then if there's that kind of influx, the school, being fairly prepared, said, okay, well, we're going to need to enlarge the school. And that's when it started. And I thought, oh, yeah, okay. Uh, did it to your daughter a couple of years ago. Yeah, and you've got these catchment areas as well. Um, some people can live in the same road and they're either side of a catchment area. So, and there's even been a case of families having one sibling at one school and another sibling at another because the education system's creaking or somebody's that indecisive. I don't know. Oh, don't take into account the existing infrastructure. Yeah, well, that's another thing. Is there enough electric, gas, water in the roads to service all of these extra, plus all the extra traffic? It's just a village, and I was caretaker at the village school, which is right in the middle of a cul-de-sac. In hindsight, what they should have done was level the school, let them build the houses on the school because it's in a residential area, and then put the school on the outskirts of town where the old nursery used to be, like garden centre nursery. And it would have been better if they'd done it that way. Um, I did hear a few things, a few rumblings of that, but it was quickly dispelled. And the excuses they gave were just ridiculous, didn't hold water. So it would have been better with a new school. Um, that's great if you have a very good contractor building it, but you've got to watch out for what contractors you get. Enough said. The blind leading the blind. Yes, we certainly are. Who said that? Where's my glasses? There they are. Hmm. Kids are staying at home longer now too because they can't afford to move out. Yes, that's true also. So roads and streets are getting clogged up, 2 or 3 cars a house. Well, that's why I got a motorbike. Could we afford 2 cars? Well, no, at the time I couldn't. Yeah, we probably could have just squeezed it. But I thought if I get a bike, get a motorbike, it'll be a hell of a lot cheaper, which it is, until you go to service it. And if you take it to Honda's, it's an arm and a leg. Um, but I can put, I don't know, £7 of petrol, what the Americans would call gas, in it a week, and I could do 150 odd miles on that. So it's very economic, expensive to service, but insurance is about £100 a year, tax is about 15 quid. So there's a lot to be said for it. But when you're hard assing it like that and it gets to 5 degrees, you've got about 20 minutes on a motorbike before it really starts eating you. And getting to school early morning sometimes, particularly in winter, it's dark all the way there and it's a dangerous road. And I nearly got creamed a month or so back. And that was another reason I really wanted to quit, because it's only a matter of time before somebody does T-bone me, and they would have been picking me out of some guy's radiator. Uh, your tax is 560 a year. What have you got, Ben? An articulated lorry? Come on, Ben, I want to see this one. Not very safe. Yeah, you're right, Al. But it on a summer's day is great. Apart from all of the flies hitting your visor, even with a full face on helmet on in the winter, you can't hardly breathe. I mean, it is so cold, and if you do breathe, then the inside of your visor is misting up. So you've got to sort of blow blow the hot gases out of your mouth downwards. Um, so yeah, and you've got about 20 minutes on a bike before the cold really starts to get to you, and your tips of your fingers are going numb, and your toes are starting to get painful. A Mercedes ML 350. Okay, yeah. Now you put down tax £560. Did you mean insurance £560? My tax £630 a year. Why is the tax on the car that much? Is it just the engine size? Or is it a diesel? Or I know diesels are really frowned upon these days. But yeah, I'm sorry, Anthony, you're sort of out of it on this one because you're not in rip-off Britain. That's tax. What, road tax? Jeez. It's the emissions. Yes, I know all about that. I had beans today, but fortunately, he hasn't created a rumble yet. Yes, the emissions. Well, the the mayor of London, uh, sorry about that, is having an ultra low carbon zone, and he's going to extend that right out to effectively all of the boroughs of London. just so they can make a bit more money out of them. Um, our tax systems are horribly mixed up, horribly mixed up, particularly road tax. You'd think if you were paying what £630 a year, that would actually go onto the roads to fix the roads up and have a decent infrastructure with a decent maintenance regime on it. But that's not the way it works. The Chancellor gets his £630 a year from road tax, and he'll use it to prop up the National Health Service. Oh, here's my son. Hi, Rich. Enjoying the cold up there? Actually, it's not that cold because I've got the heater on. But welcome aboard. It's just a money-making game. Yes, it is. A Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT. For this, and it was less than the diesel I have now. Well, that a Jeep Grand Cherokee must have a whacker of an engine in it. But yeah, I think it actually went up. Actually, the road tax for bikes, and it's something like £17 a year now. But then you 470 brake horsepower, right? With my bike, I've got 7 horsepower because it's a 125, which uh yes, it's not very powerful. I mean, I can get to 60 and keep it there, and that's about it. But then for what I needed it for, which was going from home to work, um, the maximum speed you could do on that road was 60 miles an hour anyway. And it had such a switchback nature that people used to come from all over Europe because it was so infamous, this road, going from, it starts at Hitchin and it goes all the way to Connecticut. This road was infamous because of its switchback nature and all of its S-bends. Um, Motorcyclists would come from all over Europe just to do this road. And on Saturdays and Sundays, you find people roaring up and down the roads. But it is dangerous. There's some compound bends there, some reverse camber, which is really dangerous, particularly in the wet. And there are some bends with a double radius. So you go into the bend on one radius and you think, oh, this is easy. And then it tightens. And you can feel the devil bite your ass. You really can, particularly if you're not ready for it. And then you start seeing little bunches of flowers on the side of the road and wreckage. And you think, crumbs, what's happened here? You know, the people are dying. And it's only a matter of time. You're tempted to run up the sheep shed and have a peek. Well, you can do, Rich. And I'm talking to you now. Yeah, you. Yeah, you're welcome to come up. There's plenty of room. Um, Let me just move the old laptop out of the way. If you do want to come up, then you can do so. Where should I stick that? Don't answer that. All right, I know where I can stick it. Over there. Yeah. Right. I'm back. Oh. Right, let's have a look at the chat. Uh, in order to train outside, no, all cars, regardless of origin, are bracketed solely on the engine's emissions. There's also a premium for new cars for the first couple of years. Well, ours is pretty old now, but it's not a massive car. It's in cubic capacity, it's 1.4 liters, I think. So 1400 cc. Um, it must be pretty efficient because we don't pay that kind of money. Yeah, in the name of being green. Yeah. So and there's another little. Oh, here he comes. I can see him. I can see him. Flash Gordon approaching. Nice. Right. Well, watch out for that heater because that's red hot.
Oh, because it's hot.
Yeah. You might have to use the little hook. Well, look who's joined the party.
Little hook. Where are we looking?
Right down the bottom. Right, that should be a little better. Yeah, here a second. I'll just move the heater.
You can tell it's been very well.
Yeah, what a lot. Look. Tell you what, if I put this heater over here. What little hook? There's a little copper hook there. See it?
No.
And a screw.
On a.
Yeah, there's a little piece of brass hanging down. Oh, you must have torn it off.
That one's blown out.
Yeah, never mind. Sorry, guys. Normal. Do you want me to cut you another piece of copper?
No, I'll just be content with the fact I broke it. And so I'll cut
Yeah.
the wire off.
Use a bit of solder. Now, this is decent solder, guys. This is 60/40 lead.
I'll waste it on the door.
Yeah, well, there's tons of it. Look at this. Look. There you go. Try that. Just wrap it around with 2 screws.
Yeah.
That's another thing that's very useful for testing DC locos. 9-volt battery. Right, let me just get a little closer and check on the chat. Yeah, you like big engines, so you're doomed to pay for it. Oh yeah, fair enough. Who should I get my kids on my live stream? Who doesn't mind being on the camera? Well, yeah, but it's difficult to find kids who are interested in the same thing that dad's interested in.
Unless you start them at the age of 3 like me.
Yeah. So
Before 3.
yeah, even before 3. Yes. An inundation of railways and stuff, and it seemed to do the trick. I would say you absorbed it.
And that bank account weeps every month.
Did you hear that?
Oh, so that's got to go back with the Deltics.
You work for the biggest car auction company in the UK, and second-hand car volumes are up by 25%. Well, I'm not surprised. You know, it's going to be a buyer's market, and they're going to go for something cheaper. Yeah, it's a shame, Anthony. You know, but do you really want to put yourself in there in front of the world? It's not everybody's cup of tea. So, you know, it's nice to be sort of happily anonymous. But then I don't get people that accost me in the street and say, you're a hot pilot, Choo. No, that hasn't happened.
That'll get you some funny looks.
Yeah. Well, I get funny looks anyway, but I don't mind that.
That's just in the house.
But yeah, that's on the house. On the house or in the house. Yeah, both. Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem, Chris. Yeah, you can really get some old bangers. 34, 30 and 27. Yeah, and it's amazing they're still sort of kids to us, and you think to yourself, well, okay, yeah, I've got feelings that are older than that. Yeah. Yeah, well, the live streams and videos and stuff are supposed to be a bit of fun. Yeah, they're not supposed to be ugly. It's running railways and look at that filth. Yeah, I didn't clean the tracks today. Sorry, guys, should have done that. It's no good preaching that, oh, I clean the tracks, and when I actually haven't.
I spit in a rag.
Yeah, yeah, pair of granddad's old pants. Uh, I kid you not. That is actually what he uses.
Transports.
That's right. I'm just gonna.
If you hand it over, I'll do the other side.
Right, this is that is a Fleischmann track rubber, and that's the color it starts, and that's the color it sort of ends up. And it's like it's a bit of a sponge, really. It's not really abrasive. Well, it is because it's spangling in the light, but it's not as abrasive as those really hard pico rubbers. Um,
Like that one.
like that one. Um, that's as hard as a brick. And you rub that.
You can hear it.
You rub that on your track. Yeah, you could hear that in the sound. Um, rub that thing on your track, and it's going to scratch a layer of the metal off. But this probably does the same thing, but to a lesser degree. And it's just a matter of giving it a quick rub round. There you go, Rich. Yes, get the slave to do it. Call attention. Yeah, just watch yourself on the heater because the top of that is red hot.
Christ. If you're burning paraffin next to you.
Yeah, that's the general idea. What else would you burn in a paraffin heater?
Well, you can burn anything theoretically, but it probably won't work.
Yeah, right. Now I'm gonna have to keep my eye. We've had half an hour's worth, so we've got about another 25 minutes because I know Lee's going live at 5, so I'll just make way. Jean, is that Jean Ricard? Sorry, the chat has gone up a bit. Hello, Mick. Nice to see you, Mick. Sorry, I haven't got a beer down here at the moment. I should have messaged my son and said, Rich, bring a beer down.
Up.
Up. Yeah, we're up.
Yeah.
We're slightly elevated here. Are you overtly flamboyant, Anthony, and occasionally naughty? Well, I'd say you weren't utterly outrageous. It's just that you've immersed yourself in quite a bit of UK humour. Um, so, of course, we understand that, but not the rest of the world doesn't necessarily. Hi, Jean Ricard. Nice to see you. Denver and Rio Grande. Yes, I did try. I did try another older laptop with a better camera on it, but it didn't work out. I was just getting the circle of doom, just trying to make the thing work. It's an old laptop, and it's not the fastest thing in the world. It wasn't back in the day, but now it certainly isn't, and it's struggling a bit.
I mean, we got that as a stopgap because the Asus packed up.
Yeah,
and I still needed a laptop for my schoolwork.
yes.
At the
time. It's okay for doing things like Excel spreadsheets and things like that. But it's not so good for things like live streaming that need a lot of CPU. It's just too old, basically. But it's got a great camera in it, quite wide, 720p probably, much better than the 4:3 on this. If I do one next week, I might ask Ricardo if I can use his laptop, which is a gaming laptop, and it's got all the CPU you could ever want on it,
and 12 gig of RAM.
and 12 gig of RAM.
Does the job.
Yeah. What's this one got? 8?
Uh,
Because you put another chip in there, didn't you?
yeah, you had 4 gig from the start. I had an extra 4 gig stick later. Yeah, so it's got
So
eight
it's
gig
got
in it.
8 gig of RAM in it. But you said you had what?
Mine came with 8, and I put 4 in it, so that's got 12.
So it's 12 gig of RAM. Um, yeah, and being a gaming computer, it's got some pretty snappy graphics things in it. What's your laptop like? Your webcam?
I don't know if I've ever actually used it.
Well, try it.
I have, because I had to do stupid Teams meetings for work.
Yeah, and
It's fine.
did it?
I don't know what quality it is. I have to have a look.
Yeah. Well, it was difficult to tell on the Hue pack. I couldn't tell what it was. This is 4 to 3.
Acer Nitro 5. I think I had an Acer Nitro 5, but it decided to pack up. The battery just wouldn't hold charge. Um,
What is?
my first gaming laptop. Yeah,
Right. Yeah, what about the one you got now?
the one I have now is an HP Pavilion.
Well, if that's a HP and that's a HP,
Yeah.
they don't usually go backwards with webcams, do they?
No, so it'd be 720p,
Yeah. Well,
maybe about
720p would be better than this one, which is 410, something like that.
480.
You're on an Acer Nitro 5 right now. Yeah, that our one fried, I think, didn't it?
Mine, I can't remember what it was, but the battery wasn't holding charge, so I swapped it to a new battery. Then that wasn't working either. Tried a new charging cable, that didn't work. I wasn't bothered in investing more in trying to get that to work, so I just got a new laptop, and it's worked fine for the past 2 years.
Yeah, that
Got that at the start of lockdown.
probably would have needed to put another motherboard in it.
Yeah, that, or it was something to do with the drivers. Maybe hadn't updated the drivers, and something just tanked the battery.
Just put magnetic
They had
couplings
one of
on the
those.
TPE.
They had one of those light up keyboards, which you couldn't switch off.
Yeah,
But
but
I can on
your
the
one
with
now
the
has got, yeah.
yeah, I can do that with one of the function keys. I can turn the lights off, so I usually don't use it.
Yeah, you did say you was going to do that, Stuart. And I'm glad that's worked out for you. That's why you don't do live streams. Mick, it'd be great if you did a live stream because it'd be real sort of down home, and there'd be a beer sitting there, maybe a cigar. Great.
Is this just a plug for what we're going to have to do next week? I'm going to have to get one of my cigars out. There's going to be a pint or two.
Yeah, perhaps we could add some dips and chips as well.
My
What do you think, Anthony?
my beer stein's going to have 2 pints in it.
Yeah, I can get some Doritos in the week. We have a couple of bowls of Doritos, perhaps some popcorn, pretzels. Yeah, you can have a sort of party atmosphere.
Yeah, lose another half stone over the week, and I'll put it on.
Yeah, yeah. If you're onto a diet, and you see us stuffing our face full of all this unnecessary stuff, well, there you go. Now the computer you live stream with is a monster, yes, but you had that built specially for that, did you not, Anthony? And even then, that I believe that's water cooled as well, which means you're running your CPU's pretty hot. Yeah, it's perfect now, Stuart. I'm glad. Mick, just clear out the beer cans. Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. Been a while since you had a beer. Even longer since you drank one on a live stream.
I'm sure
Well,
we can change that.
well, this is under the subtitle of not for kids. So I don't know what.
Can we make a challenge of that? How many of YouTube's T's and C's we can break in a live stream?
Yeah, we probably could. Apparently, you can't cuss or swear in the first 15 seconds now.
They've changed it to 60 to be safe, I think.
What,
First minute.
when's this from?
It was a few months ago.
Right, well, 2 weeks ago, they said the first 15 seconds there is no cussing
Yeah,
because
but I think there are channels that are making it like they're not even taking chances on that. They're making it the first minute. they don't want to get demonetized.
Yeah, but like people are being demonetized, and they're
Yes.
looking at all of their old.
Yeah, before those new guidelines, strictly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not. Oh, like from this time we're going
No,
to demonetize you.
it's now
They've looked at all of your videos, and they're going to whack you.
Yeah.
So
Drinking, smoking,
yeah,
behind
drinking, smoking, spitting, nose picking, farting.
Sure, these aren't school rules.
Yeah.
No drawing on the whiteboard.
I do take requests though.
No.
Yeah, I could try and do the national anthem. If I ate enough beans, I could probably do the national anthem. Just using jolly old sphincter. Yes, especially designed to fit for your live streams. Water cooled for added security. My CPU runs at 18% during the stream. Well, that's not bad.
That is really good.
Yeah, but that's with 10 or 12 cameras on.
Oh, right.
But,
wow, that's incredible.
but I believe Anthony's got all of his USB cameras locally powered.
Okay.
So, yeah. You correct me if I'm wrong there, Anthony. I wouldn't recommend it. I fell out the shed for having one or two. You fell out of the shed, yes. Yes, I heard about that. Yeah, you managed to fall out of the shed by having too many sherbets, uh, as they say. Yeah. Well, on top of the Doritos and the pretzels and things like that, some potato chips. Yeah, we don't call them crisps, potato chips. We could actually have some soda. Yeah, we could have Pepsi, vanilla Coke,
Root beer.
root beer. We like root beer. Yes, we're dyed in the wool American lovers because we run American trains. We like American food. Why don't we just move to America and have done with it?
I blame Emperor of the North. I don't know
Yeah,
what you're going. Oh, I know what you can blame. Casey Jones.
yeah, Casey Jones. Yeah. Now I looked into when Casey Jones came back on our televisions. It was made in 1957, syndicated out in 1958, so everybody watched it. But I don't think we saw it until 1967, and that's when I remember seeing it. Now you've got to remember, I was what 3 or 4 years old then, so it must have had quite an effect on me. At the same time, 1st of May 1968, that was when the double tender Flying Scotsman went out of King's Cross with its train. And it was like somebody had emptied Wembley Stadium into King's Cross. There were bodies everywhere. I've never seen it so crowded. You could see the platforms for people that were there. So yeah, I had a bit of an immersion on trains and stuff, particularly as for me, King's Cross Station was 10 minutes down the road from where I grew up. So I was always frequenting it.
Anthony's CNN. As long as he's not Fox News, yeah,
I,
sure.
yeah. Stop, look, listen, cause you're going to hear.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. No. Quick.
Run.
Put the cheese in your ears. Yes. Edith is singing. You have 12 cameras. 10 are plugged directly into the computer. 2 are powered hub attached to the computer. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you can get them locally powered, then it doesn't drain your PC, I suppose. How are the hills coming, Darren? Has he taken them to the hills? The beer is crap.
Depends which.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a bit of John Smith's.
I like a glass of the black stuff. Bit of Guinness.
Who's got a better choice of logos?
It
Me,
depends.
me or you?
It depends. I've got more in quantity.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got 5 Westerns, for God's sake.
No, this is it. This is the layout which we sort of try and share as
Yeah.
best we can. But it's difficult when you've got your rolling stock on it and you leave it on there. Somebody else has got that to start off with, which is a bit awkward. Um, so after this is finished, I'm going to box this lot up and it will be something new next week.
Well, considering my latest pre-order purchase, I suppose, and due very imminently, according to Reza Sheffield, is the new Pacer by EFE. So maybe get the newer GWR stuff out. We've got 257s, some Mark threes. We've got an HST. We've got a 153 single car unit. Um, has Rich got his own that? No, this is it. I did plan out something like a little terminus with a hidden fiddle thing, SDJR. But at the moment, the neighbours are currently doing some building work up. So it means if I were to start building up in the loft, it'd probably get covered in dust and all those kind of things. So maybe in the future, but it'd be more a case of a take it down, put it up, put it out in the garden when it's a sunny day in the summer. But yeah, I usually build up fleets of locos. So I've got an EWS fleet, GWR fleet, Western region, early steam and hydraulics sort of jazz, LNER, just so you get a whole bunch of locos, but they can all run on different sort of coaches and wagons and such. Build your own shed. I've got my own shed. It's full of gardening tools.
Yeah, but it's only a quarter of the size of this one.
That's very true. It is.
Yeah, it'd be all right for
Yeah.
engage. And
Yeah.
even then, you couldn't swing a cat in it.
Yeah. I did think about maybe put some plant some 009 on it, but that's sort of a whole new can of worms to open. I don't really want to touch it just yet, I suppose. Definitely not Fox News, but I'll keep politics offline. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, that was the other important thing. Didn't want to have the layout too wide because you'd never be able to reach it to clean it. So the station over yonder, over there, that's as far as you've got to reach. And I could do that sort of on tippy toes. Um, Anything different than that, you wouldn't be able to clean it. And then you'd have to get the Shag or the CMX machine out and
Cool.
start running that
Great way
round.
to do it. Very nice stuff too. Yeah, I've collected some of my own American stuff. Maybe we'll have to give that a run at some point. It's all MTH, really expensive, stupid expensive
Chris,
locos. They're all well, they're mostly Union Pacific, so a big boy, a Challenger, a 412-2, the big stuff. So yeah, it's all pretty good. Mix of network rail. Yeah, we got plenty of network rail stuff. Probably because the test trains intrigue so much, and then everyone sort of started doing those coaches to go with the locos, and then I started working for them. But this isn't work PPE. This is something else.
if you start 009, you should have a follower in me. Ah, Jean Ricard. So you're a narrow gauge man, are you?
Get some double fairlies going. Knock down a wall and add another shed. Don't always need another shed. It's very true.
Well, I was watching.
How cheap are 66s these days?
How cheap are 66s?
Just
Whose?
use the body shell of. No, as in make that into the new shed.
Oh, a body shell for a 66.
Yeah, a full size 1-to-1 scale 66 body. And
I
we'll
don't
have that
think
as the shed.
I don't think we've got enough garden. Yeah, this is not a condo.
No,
You know, this is sort of a bungalow with a garden and a shed. Hmm. Too wide to clean and fix. Where were you people 5 years ago? Yeah, right. Um, well, I thought about it long and hard before putting this lot together. I thought, well, what do I want? Do I want it all down one side, with a little tiny hole in the middle that I can get in there and clean it? Or do I want it all around the outside with wider curves as I can? And that's what I sort of went for. Um, you don't really think about cleaning it that much until it comes right to cutting the boards, and you think, I can reach anything 2 foot, 2 foot wide. So I'm standing here and I can literally reach that, and that's 2 foot. But when it gets to something like 3 over there, I'm right at the limit of my reach. Now I can't help that. I'm a short ass.
Genetically short arms, I'd say.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
So, well, I suppose my arms are not the sort of in ratio to the rest of my body, but if the legs are short, then your arms are going to be short. Um, like a GWR 57, they are nice.
We've got two of those. They're
Yeah.
both Bachmann. One is the normal livery, the other one is the rail exclusive limed green special job.
What was that? The older GWR with a bag packet.
No, it's a special livery for the 175th anniversary, something like that.
Have we had that out? Have you ever run it?
Yes, but it was probably about 2 or 3 years ago.
What was it? Like 10 minutes on the layout and then put it
No,
back in the box?
it was good for a month, I think.
Oh, okay.
I ran it with the Mark III sleepers.
That and 3 rail like Anthony. Yeah. Yeah, it's not really true 3 rail though, is it? It's 2 rail and studs. Uh, I suppose if you want to go real 3 rail, then there's Lionel and that kind of stuff. But that's massive size. Um,
This fit me when I first commandeered it, and now it's all baggy. I don't think I can do that.
Sean wants a 5 plank wagon, a full size 5 plank wagon.
I don't blame him.
The wife said no.
Well, you're going to paint it in your own
No.
private owner colours as well.
Yeah, private owner. GWR Buckley Junction. You could do that. You could do that. I'm speaking hypothetically here. Yes, you could do it. Nothing wrong with free rail. I enjoy watching Anthony's 3 rail immensely. You can pick any one of the pictures on Anthony's live stream and just watch that solely. And you can switch to another camera at the flick of an eye, really. Which is why I watch this. Always something happening, always a bit of action. The trains run fast enough that even on the size of Anthony's layout, you still get a good innings on where you can see it and how long it's in picture, and they run fantastically well. Are they still going?
What?
Yeah. Let me just hit this.
Yeah, and the sound.
And the sound. What have we got? ADD. What's ADD? Attention deficit disorder. I should know that, shouldn't I? I do know it, obviously.
ADDHD. Attention deficit high definition. You can't pay attention, but when you do, it's incredibly clear.
There we go. That's what the Alpo sounds like. Right. I cut him off in his prime. Go recall onto 106. Where's the headlight? There it is.
Oh, blind them.
It's yellow.
There we go.
Yay. How's that? Saw something about rear red lights and making them brighter. Yeah, what's the Bachmann DBSO?
Mm-hmm.
The
The Mark II.
Yeah, the Mark II DBSO. The red lights on the back of it are pretty pants, actually. You mean to say you can't hear that? So the noise cancelling must be on.
That's interesting.
Can you hear me now? Yes.
No, the train sounds.
All right then. Wait until this comes around. So if I stick them both on, you're bound to hear that.
This is the thing with this. I think maybe these don't have volume options, do they?
Yeah, it's either on or off, I think.
If one was going to have a car of its own layout, holy shit, kind of a DB. So we've got about three of them. It's outrageous. Um, Constant deficit in some objects, right?
Is that any good? Trackside Mike. Hi, Mike.
Even my trains. I think I heard a whistle there. Maybe if we just start talking the whole time, then they'll be able to hear that. Or if it's just a matter of microphone operation.
Yeah, maybe I've got the microphone set to noise reduction, and it does take a lot of the background stuff out. I'm not sure I can make that any louder.
No, something like that. But that those proper options. Excuse me.
1360. That any better now?
If that fails, I might have to try it with the two Deltics.
Yeah,
That really will be loud.
yeah, we get a couple of Deltics up here.
Nope.
Well, I'm amazed. I'm amazed that you haven't heard that. I really am.
I wonder if
I wonder
what
if
do you
it's
call it?
because it's pointed across and not sort of down.
Well, before we try doing the new I have to look at what quality my webcam is anyway.
We're gonna have to do a few tests, guys. I think.
See if I've got a standalone blue snowball microphone. See if we can use that on this laptop.
Yes, speech is loud and clear. No sound of the trains. Yeah, I've noticed this on other people's um, broadcasts that you can't hear the trains, particularly Bernie's. Um, even some of his Deltics, it clips it off a bit. So perhaps it's the microphone are more set up towards speech rather than whatever frequencies our machines are using. Let me just kill that. Oh, that's it. Yeah, pretty good trackside, Mike. Yeah, pretty good. Right, Lee's just about to come on, and I'm not gonna step on his toes, so I'm gonna bid you a fond farewell, guys. Um, Same time next week, probably. You have to take your mic and hold it directly on the train to get a sound into the stream. Well, perhaps we can get a. I've been looking at this new Prism um, software, but I think it would need something like Richard's uh, PC to run it, because I noticed even Bernie with 4 cameras, his speech was starting to clip a bit. So perhaps it is a bit CPU hungry, but that's something we can look into. Perhaps get another what is it, 1080p webcam. You can get some good ones out there for something like 20 quid. Anyway, guys, I'm going to say Auf Wiedersehen, choos, and Happy Trains. I don't know where I've heard that one, but from the Blackwell family, Auf Wiedersehen. Cheers, guys.
Au revoir.